You know, that whole country, Venezuela, is just falling into oblivion here. And this is a country that not too long ago was rich in oil revenues. But when you have cradle-to-grave assurances for your population and you say that everything will be paid for by the government, eventually, as Maggie Thatcher says, well, you run out of money. You run out of other people's money. You run out of your own money. And right now, you run out of options. And right now, you run out of a country. Venezuelan immigrants Eric Berman and Joanna Rodriguez join us right now. They've lived through this. They've seen this. They've witnessed it. So, Joanna, I imagine there is just uncontrollable anger over this.
Absolutely. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me on. What I've seen recently and in the past couple of years with Venezuela is people are increasingly getting more and more frustrated with the way that the government is running the country.
Do they blame Nicolas Maduro, the president? Many said that he's making Hugo Chavez look like the Pope in retrospect, but what do you make of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's taken a little bit of time for some of the Venezuelans to really get a hold of what's happening. But I've seen that about 70% of Venezuelans oppose Nicolas Maduro. And I think the opposition is growing, and especially that, like we've seen in the past couple of days with the protests, it'll continue to grow until Venezuelans can get their freedom.
And their food, right, Eric? That's a big issue here, because unlike prior uprisings, a lot of these folks are in because they can't get food.
Well, this is
yeah,
true,
absolutely.
Neil.
So,
Eric first. I'm sorry, Eric first, but go ahead.
Sorry, Neil. First of all, thanks for having me and for covering the story. It's gotten to the point where, indeed, basic necessities such as food and medical supplies are nowhere to be found. And it's no longer an issue of price. There's just scarcity all over the place.
Well, who has the stuff, Eric? I mean, someone must have some of the food. Is there a fear that the rich have it and everyone else is just searching?
Well, it would be great if somebody had it, but what's happened is that because of the socialist policies that the government has implemented, they have literally destroyed the fabric of the country to be able to produce some of these basic goods. So through price controls and other redistributive policies, they have taken over the production capacity, and there is legitimate shortages. And what is worse, when I speak to some of the civil society leaders down there, they tell me the government is not even allowing for humanitarian distribution of food and medicine that foreign private interests and governments are willing to send. They're not even allowing for humanitarian inflow of goods.
Joanna, what about your family and friends still there? What are they doing?
So my parents, we end up sending like a care package to them. We send it through a freight company. And so here in the States, we save up, send them basic necessities, and we'll send them to our family and our friends there. But they really just barter and trade what they have and what they can get their hands on for medicine or what they need.
Eric, what about yours?
Similarly, you know, a lot of families end up resorting to accessing some of these goods through what are considered black markets, where the price of these basic necessities are outrageous, which means that those people who need it the most, unfortunately, don't have access, which, of course, it's a great tragedy of these socialist policies.
Guys, thank you both very much. A reminder, what can happen after this?